What if I told you the loudest war you'll ever fight has no guns, no crowds, no medals, only thoughts? Not the economy, not your boss, not the comments section, your mind. Every day, tiny hits steal your calm. A message left on read, a glance that felt like judgment, a plan that cracked on impact. We think we're tired because life is heavy. Most of us are tired because our attention leaks in 1,000 directions. Tonight, you stop leaking. Tonight, you learn to carry your mind like a sword that never rusts. Type this below to seal it in. I stand unmoved. Now breathe once. We begin. Make friends with the edge. We've engineered a world where chairs hug us and apps pat us on the head. And yet, the slightest friction makes us fall apart. A man once told me his worst day was when his latte was too milky. He said it with a straight face. Here's the turn. Comfort isn't evil, it's sneaky. It arrives as a cushion and leaves as a cage. I met a violinist who practiced in a freezer room every winter morning. Not for suffering points. He said, "When the hall is warm and the critics are cold, I'm still ready." His concerts were never easy. He was trained. Your life already has a built-in gym. The elevator you could skip, the silence you could sit in, the truth you could say. Walk toward the edges on purpose, and the world stops scaring you. Try this tonight. End your shower cold for 30 seconds. Not as punishment, as rehearsal. Mantra. I sharpen on the edge. Name the storm. Don't be the storm. Emotions are weather. You are the sky. The sky never argues with the rain. There's a story of a firefighter who writes one word on his glove before every call. Label. He told me, when heat spikes and people scream, I tag what I feel. Fear, anger, panic, and it loses the keys to the driver's seat. Here's the mistake most of us make. We treat emotions like orders. They're alerts, not edicts. Anger says, boundary crossed. Anxiety says, prepare. Sadness says, value noticed. Listen. Learn. Lead. When a message stings, whisper. Tight chest, quick breath. This is embarrassment. Warm face, fast speech. This is anger. Watch how the storm keeps raining, but you're no longer drowning in it. Practice. Next flare up, breathe in for 4, hold 2, out for 6, and label the feeling once. Then act with the part of you that will still respect the decision in 24 hours. Mantra. I witness first, then move. Release the contract you never signed. Somewhere along the way, we signed an invisible contract with life. If I do it right, I deserve smooth roads. Who mailed you that? Nobody. We wrote it. Then we suffer when reality refuses to countersign. I coached a startup founder who lost a deal minutes before launch. He paced the parking lot, listing every reason it was unfair. I said, maybe. But fairness is a currency the universe doesn't print. We ripped the fantasy contract and wrote a different one. I owe my best conduct, not a guaranteed outcome. He went home lighter and built something better 3 months later. Drop the courtroom in your head. Pick up the workshop. Unfair? Often. Unbeatable. When you stop asking, why me? And start building, what now? Practice. When hit by unfair, say out loud, not a verdict, just conditions. Then list the next 3 behaviors fully in your control. Mantra. No contract, only conduct. The 2 doors test. Picture 2 doors on the wall of your mind. Door A, my say. Door B, not my say. Every thought, every worry, every plan sorts through those doors. I once saw a chess grandmaster play blindfolded. I asked how he stays calm with 20 boards spinning. He said, "I only think about squares I can touch." That's Stoicism in one sentence. You can't control the weather, the comments, or whether your text gets a reply. You can control your hydration, your tone, your timing, your craft. Every time you obsess over door B, you donate your power. Every time you return to door A, your spine returns with you. Practice. Draw 2 literal boxes on paper. Fill box A with behaviors you'll execute today. Box B with everything else. When anxiety spikes, read box A out loud and move your body for 60 seconds. Mantra. I live where my hands can reach. A. Train with voluntary friction. Strength isn't built in emergencies, it's revealed there. So you train when the stakes are tiny, so you don't tremble when they're huge. A friend who's a surgeon eats with his non-dominant hand the week before complex operations. Why? I need to remind my brain who is boss when something feels clumsy. His patients don't know this ritual. His steadiness knows. Build your own rituals of friction. 1 day a week, no elevator. 1 meal, no phone. 1 commute, walk the last stop. 1 conversation, say the unsaid with warmth. Small hardness builds quiet confidence. Quiet confidence survives big storms. Practice. Choose 2 frictions for the next 7 days. Schedule them. No debate at execution. Mantra. I rehearse when it's easy, so I'm ready when it isn't. Unhook from scoreboards. Fall in love with craft metrics, are useful servants and cruel masters. If your heartbeat rides the waves of views, likes, raises, or applause, strangers own your nervous system. A runner once told me she places tape over her watch for the first mile of every race. Why? So I remember to run beautifully before I run fast. Her times improved the year she chased form, not fame. Detach from the scoreboard, and you paradoxically score better because you're present. You pour energy into the one realm where you're undefeated, doing the work well. Practice. Before any meaningful task, whisper a craft cue. Writer. 1 true sentence. Leader. Serve the room. Athlete. Clean mechanics. Then begin. Mantra. Form before trophies. Hold a timer to your heart. We don't need fear of death. We need a flashlight of urgency. A neighbor kept a metronome on her mantle. Every night before bed, she clicked it on for 30 beats. Why? I asked. So I hear time moving whether I notice or not, she said, smiling. It makes me kinda faster. Mortality isn't a monster under the bed. It's a mentor in the doorway, clearing its throat. When you feel its gaze, priorities snap into focus. Petty arguments look silly. Kindness becomes efficient. Work becomes service, not performance. Practice. Tonight, write 3 living promises that matter if a year from now you reread them. Circle 1 you'll act on this week. Call, forgive, begin. Mantra. Borrowed time deserves brave use. Choose alignment over applause. Applause feels good because it's loud. Alignment feels right because it's quiet. I knew a teacher who kept 2 notes in her desk. One said, "They're watching," the other, "Even if they aren't." When tempted to cut corners, she opened the second note. She retired with average followers and legendary respect. Your values are not for decoration, they're for direction. Honesty that costs you a like. Generosity that no one sees. Discipline that nobody claps for. These are bricks in a house you actually want to live in. Practice. Pick one value for the next 24 hours. Courage, patience, diligence, kindness, and express it without announcement. Notice how quiet strength makes decisions easier. Mantra. I align when seen, and when unseen. You now have 8 moves. Not quotes to admire, tools to deploy. Edge. Find one today. Label. Name the storm once. Contract. Tear it, choose conduct. 2. Doors. Step through A. Friction. Schedule 2 reps. Craft. Cue your form. Timer. Act on one promise. Alignment. Live one value silently. When your day wobbles, run the kit like a checklist. No drama. Just reps. Because the aim of this path isn't to make life painless. It's to make you principled in the middle of pain, centered in noise, generous in success, steady in loss. You won't always be calm. You will always be capable. Not because the world softened, but because your spine hardened without your heart closing. If this training shifted something in you, share it with someone who needs fresh armor. Then tell me in the comments which move you'll run first. Whisper this once before you go, so your day hears you coming. I stand unmoved.